What's up, beautiful, clean, precious child of God? How are you doing today? Thank you a lot for joining us on today's episode. Lots of love and respect. I'll be your host, and I am Y311H. Well, my friend, if your day has been going just anyway, anyhow, the way it wants, don't worry. Here, there is something to make you smile, something to make you wonder if reality is really what it seems like. Something, my friend, even that might blow your mind. And all these are videos that we shall be going through together. But, my friend, we shall be doing this with a mission. The mission is to spread our message, the message of love, unity of all earthlings, peace amongst mankind, forgiveness, my friend, honesty, and good vibes to the whole world. As we spread this message, we are always guided by the Creator, Supreme Almighty, whom we acknowledge with a short word of thanks before we begin the show. But first, let's hear our message from the Book of Wisdom, this one here. And our message comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, and verse 22. It's a question. It says, stop trusting in man who has but a breath in his nostrils. Of what account is he? Trust only in the Lord. Let's give some thanks, my friend. Thank you, wonderful Father, for your goodness. Thank you for love. Thank you for the words from the book of wisdom, Father. Help us to always trust and hope in you. Thank you for your precious child, today's viewer. Thank you, dear Lord, for the experience that you shall give them through this episode. Thank you for you shall fill their hearts with hope and your goodness, Father. Thank you for your mercies, forgiveness of all our sins, Father. We give you thanks for everything. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Child of God, let's dive in.
So this woman has
Look
been
at this.
feeding a squirrel outside her house for like the last week or so. And then she gets home and there's a cookie on the ledge. Look at how she got the cookie. The squirrel that she has been feeding brought her a cookie, I guess as a thank you.
This is beautiful.
Put it there. That's pretty cool. I didn't know squirrels, I know they're smart, but I guess they have compassion. Is that what it is? No, they're
It's a
grateful.
good start.
And the fact that the
Animals, my
squirrel can
friend,
even carry
are
that
full of
cookie,
love.
where did it get the cookie?
Maybe
And then
from the
somehow
bakery.
climb this railing and then put the cookie up on the ledge and even jump with it. Watch him jump.
Imagine it carried it from where it carried
That's
it
pretty cool.
up to this point.
Hit the follow button.
This is
Thank you.
incredible. This is a wonderful start. Lots of love in this first video.
Phê Fangana Chला Tao qua lại Chla qua lại
This is lovely. Okay. And which fruit is this one? Our good vibes friend here has. It looks like some plant here. Okay, this is incredible. Almost looks like the pomegranate, but it is not. It is very fibrous on the inside. Which fruit could this be? It looks delicious. If you happen to know the name of that fruit, please tell us in the comment section.
not cloud seeding causing the insane storms in New Mexico and Texas. It's something much bigger and something a lot worse than even that. Just this year alone, scientists confirmed that the Southern Meridional Overturning Circulation, or SMOC, SMOC, has reversed. That's a deep ocean current system circling Antarctica. Think of it as the southern hemisphere's part of the ocean's conveyor belt, it just flipping on its on end, right? Not a good thing, especially if it was in a factory. Now, normally the ocean should have cold, salty water near Antarctica. That sinks down and helps drive the, global ocean circulation. But now that current is pulling warm water up instead, according to the journal PNAS. That's the Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences. A mouthful, that's why I stuck with PNAS. Anyways, satellite data and ocean sensors show this deep water is carrying heat and carbon from centuries ago up to the surface. Now, that's melting sea ice from underneath, making the Southern Ocean hotter and saltier, and that's disrupting the entire global climate engine. Now, the European Space Agency also confirmed that this reversal is releasing massive amounts of heat into the atmosphere. And that's not staying down south, it's fueling extreme weather patterns across the world, including those powerful storms slamming into the southern United States. Now, a report from Spain's ICM-CSIC, the Institute of Marine Sciences, much easier to say that one rather than the acronym, found that this is already affecting the Atlantic circulation too. Now, the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC, which carries warm water north and keeps Europe's climate mild, is weakening. That means colder winters for Europe and more heat and chaos for the tropics and subtropics. So it's not a sci-fi weapon or weather weapon or deep state or Democrats trying to destroy Republicans and Christian children. No, it's the planet's ocean system unraveling. This is what the climate tipping point looks like. And it's happening now, and it's gonna continue to get a whole lot worse. I think those two storms we saw are just the beginning.
Guys, I'm just going to say it. I think cats are an alien hybrid. I think that's why the Egyptians worship them. I think they're a hybrid of a snake and a lion. They're the only mammals with slit eyes. They wriggle around and they're sneaky like snakes. They hiss. And then they have the poise and kind of regality, or I guess, royalty of lions. It makes perfect sense in my head that they would be a hybrid and then worshipped, and they have 9 lives. Like, something like so significant about their lives is well known, like they're spiritual in nature. I don't know. I think cats are aliens. What do you guys think?
Oh, cats are good vibes. Hybrid of lion and snake.
So did anyone else see the video of the lady who's coming out of her house with a pan of food and accidentally hits her elbow on her doorknob, and then she stops and says, "Owie, ouch." So then she closes the door and she proceeds to go to her trunk of her car. She opens the trunk of her car, sits the food down, and continues to say ouch and owie. But then she passes out and hits the back of her head on the table that's next to her car. And I thought to myself, what the hell happened? So I went to the comment section, and the comment section said, yeah, I hit my funny bone before and I passed out.
How?
So I continued to read, and someone else said, yep, it happens. It's called a vasovagal reaction when you hit your funny bone. I'm an adult, and I've never heard of this before. So I decided to Google it, and I Googled it, and apparently, if you hit your funny bone in your life, you have like a 50% chance of experiencing a vasovagal reaction, which is your body overreacting to an extreme amount of pain, which causes you to have clamminess, vomiting, dizziness, and it can lead to fainting. And in some cases, you can even experience paralysis, because the funny bone has a nerve that causes your brain and the nerves in your arm to disconnect, which causes your body to say, oh my God, what's going on? Like, that's me every day of my life. But I've never in my life. And my thing is like, one of my biggest fears is hitting my funny bone. Like, I've hit it before, and it's the most uncomfortable feeling. And I have 5 kids. So whoever named it the funny bone is a complete asshole. is what I'm saying. This is where I'm getting at this point.
Well, that's interesting. I've ever hit my funny bone several times, but
I can be John Malkovich. Hello, my name is John Malkovich.
I don't sound anything like them.
No, you sound exactly like this.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Oh, no, yes.
That was also kind of a Schwarzenegger a little bit.
Yeah. I'm 4.5, father. You got to get out of here. Get out of this, the bomb in there. Get out. Come on. You got to go. I need to pull up on now. You don't want to be big.
I love Schwarzenegger as a baby. Yeah. This is so much fun.
I want to watch Document Stuffing.
Just totally into like the peripheral and like weird things. So he's like,
Oh, wow. We got some lights. A couple of cameras. That's nice.
the first time I met him, I go, he comes up to me and he had a cigar in his mouth and he goes,
find them. Show me your leadership capabilities.
Burt Lancaster getting his chowder.
Getting his chowder. And they brought him his chowder and it was in a paper bag. And he said, Burt Lancaster looked in the paper bag and he stared in there for a long time. And then he looked up and he went, oyster crackers. You forgot the oyster crackers.
If I walk into this kitchen and I see a cantaloupe on that table, I will lose my mind.
Humans are extremely wonderful, unique, and talented.
It's been done. It's just so. No, I'm saying you've got to produce this. You've got to make a cartoon where he's a baby. That's the only way I want to see him from now on.
Yeah. See that billboard while you're driving down Sunset, like Schwarzenegger baby.
Yeah.
Come on.
I would watch every second of that 50 times.
I was a PA on an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called Collateral Damage, and all right. Hey, one person's like, hey. No, and that was the big line in that movie was, open up the door, there's a bomb in there. The first time I met him, I go, he comes up to me and he had a cigar in his mouth and he goes, what is Jeff and Peter? That's his hair and makeup guys.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know, I'll find them. And he goes,
Find them. Show me your leadership capabilities.
These are my friend. Humans are wonderful, extremely unique, and talented in their own different ways.
I love when you hear a story like that because you know it's exactly true.
yeah. Just like,
No one would-
show me your leadership capabilities. I was like, they're right there. There they are. They're sitting in little...
Wow, that guy changes even his face to look like that Schwarzenegger guy. It's incredible, right? This crocodile attacks a shark
What's a
for getting too close.
Oh,
Hey, please don't joke with crocs.
Croc versus shark. It's crazy.
Oh my god, this shark does not know who he's joking with. Wah! My friend Crocs. Crocs are these guys. Oh, they are dangerous. But they are full of good vibes. If you don't bother them, they won't bother you.
doing? Oh, what's gonna happen here?
Oh,
Croc versus
the
shark.
shark decided to joke with the croc here. Oh, playing games on the croc. Some pranks in the water. What? These two, both of them, they scare me extremely.
Yeah.
These are among some of the reasons I think we are not supposed to be swimming. Because imagine having an encounter with these two guys. You see?
doing?
Wow.
Oh, what's gonna happen here?
It's a situation of
Croc
between a
versus
rock and a
shark.
hard place.
It's
One of them
crazy.
is an easy target. Look at, oh my god. Maybe they are good friends. That's just their way of playing. You see, the shark and croc, they can make good friends. You see, it's a dangerous duo.
Doctor reacts.
Do it.
Here's how you can dilate your pupil on command. One way is to think of a very dark room and a very scary situation at the same time. Imagine this scenario so vividly that you feel like you're there. If you record your eyes while you're doing this, it's possible that your pupil might dilate. A neuroscientist from the University of Oslo actually studied this and found it to be true. Another way to do this is to focus on a nearby object and then shift your gaze to a long distance object. By doing so, your pupil will dilate and accommodate that distance change. And another way to do this is to think of a person that you are very attracted to. You see, when a person is attracted to another person, that instills within them a very small flight or flight response. In medical terms, we call this a sympathetic response. Because when you're attracted to somebody, you feel butterflies in your stomach. That's actually the adrenaline being released in your body. That adrenaline will trigger the sympathetic nervous system to dilate your pupils if you are in the presence of somebody that you're attracted to. And a well-seasoned salesperson will actually know this trick. If you go to some jewelry stores, you'll notice that they lean across the counter when they're showing you certain items. It's because those people that are experienced will understand that if that person has a dilation in their pupil, it means that they really like the object that they're looking at.
Wow, well, it's always interesting learning new facts from the doctors.
So tell me why the CIA banned this book for decades and now it's low-key coming true. This is the Adam and Eve story by Chan Thomas, and it was written in the 1960s and then swiftly classified by the CIA. But then in 2013, a Freedom of Information Act made it public. Well, almost all of it. The CIA released a sanitized portion of the Adam and Eve story. This is what we know from that sanitized version. Every 6,500 years, Chan said that the Earth would go through a total reset. And I'm not talking about like a climate change, slow change kind of vibe. I'm talking about rapid reset. Poles shifting, Earth's crust ripping off like an orange peel, 1,000-foot tsunamis coming in. And guess what? Earth's magnetic pole is drifting faster than ever and our magnetic field is weakening. Scientists are watching it very closely. Chan said it starts with earthquakes, volcanoes, and weird weather. Does that sound familiar at all? Because the last 6 months have been wild. Along with all the crazy ass weather that we've had the past 6 months, we had the 8.8 earthquake in Russia. And then today in Russia, a volcano that hasn't erupted in over 600 years popped off. Iceland's on its 6th eruption of the year. Volcanoes are going crazy all over Japan, Indonesia. The Ring of Fire, just look it up right now. It's terrifying. Chan Thomas goes into great detail of what will happen to the Earth when the crust slips like an orange peel, resetting everything. And we can get into that more if you want to. But my whole thing is, we're overdue if this happens every 6,500 years. And the last time was when Atlantis sunk. Why did the CIA keep this book hidden for decades if there's not any truth to it? I think they knew something, Chan knew something, and he wasn't the only one that predicted this.
Man, about this book, we've heard about it in different episodes. Do you think we are undergoing the Great Reset?
Their eyes are roughly twice the size of our eyes. And when they're young, they're blue and white, just like ours. When you look at them, they look just like people with larger eyes. The eyes spread around the side of their head more than a human's does, and they're very prominent. And their eyesight is as good, at least, as that of a cat. And their hearing is as good as, at least, as that of a dog. They're capable of making sounds with their vocal cords that humans can't hear, just the way that I'm told rhinoceroses can do. But they can hear them, and they're well aware of this. When I was out there among them, it wouldn't be uncommon to apparently hear animal sounds out in the sagebrush, sounds like meadowlarks or dogs barking or horses whinnying. Really, it was the aliens. When they would walk in on me, if they felt like just talking between themselves, they were perfectly capable of talking between themselves using sounds too high for me to hear.
Wow, my God, it's hard to believe those things exist here on Earth. All for
Water
entertainment
in the
purposes.
deepest, darkest parts of the ocean moves. And it moves a lot more than you might think. It's called the Deep Ocean Conveyor Belt, and today you're in luck because we're going to talk about it. We begin our journey on the surface of the ocean. The surface of the ocean is warm, and warmer fluids are less dense than colder fluids. In fact, a very large difference in density develops between the surface of the ocean and the deep, dense water below, and this we call stratification. Now, a vast majority of our ocean is stably stratified, meaning it doesn't mix between the surface and the deep. But things start to change when we get towards the North Pole and the South Pole. First of all, the water starts to get really cold, and the colder the water, the more dense it is. Second, water begins to freeze to ice. But this is important because when ice freezes, salt is not included. So the water underneath this frozen sea ice is very salty, making that cold water even more dense. There is little to no difference in density between the surface and the deep water at the North and South Pole. And what this means is that there's no stratification. The surface and the deep water can mix. And once that water goes from the surface to the deep, it begins a world tour of the deep ocean. This process we refer to as thermohaline circulation. Thermo referring to temperature, haline referring to saltiness. Now, one of the craziest things about thermohaline circulation is that from end to end, it takes about 2,000 years. So although this is a current, it's moving pretty slow. Think of it as a very lazy river. Now, there are a multitude of reasons why we should care about thermohaline circulation, but one that I will point to today is its role in the carbon cycle. The ocean is very good at holding on to organic and inorganic carbon, far better than land, and most of this carbon is held in the deep ocean. When this water goes from the surface of the ocean to the deep, it is effectively storing away that carbon for about 2,000 years until it reaches the surface again. Now, if the process of deep water formation were to slow or stop, this would really influence thermohaline circulation and would make it less efficient at storing carbon in the deep ocean. And if you're now wondering how we can prove all of this, let me assure you, we're sampling the water. Oceanographers are able to use CTD rosettes and these cylindrical Niskin bottles to sample ocean waters at every depth of the ocean. We're able to use half-lives from the chemical compounds to determine when this water was at the surface. Anyways, I hope that blew your mind. Lesson over, class dismissed.
Oh, wow. This woman just explained to us what another good vibes guy was saying.